morning, everyone, and welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. My name is Rotimi Tayo, and I would like to say Happy New Year to everyone out there. This is the Good Morning Education Show. Yes, we are live and we're here. We're streaming from Lagos, Nigeria to West Africa to Africa and the entire world on the Good Morning Education Show. It's always a great morning as we bring to you issues within and around the world of education. Mondays to Fridays, you can catch us 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. West African time. And then we have the weekend special for Saturday. It's 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. West African time. And on Sundays, we have the Good Morning Education Show for the weekend special, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. West African time. It's always a great morning on the show. And this is the very first episode that we're having in the new year, and we're excited. We're excited. We're happy to have you here today, and of course, you can see our very own Dr. Omotola the Great ready for the year, starting with us. She's standing by, I'm sure geared up, fired up for the year. And we would like to say thank you to all our tribe members for your consistency, for your support, for making contributions on the show, for asking questions as well on the show. You are part of those people who make the show worth having. And let's do this together this year. Let's work together. Let's learn together. Let's share together, and we obviously must grow together. Please, if you're connecting with us, wherever you're connecting with us, just tell us your name, tell us your location. So we say thank you. If you're first time, of course, we have what we call the bell of blessing, and the bell of blessing also will be available. We'll virtually ring the bell of blessing or physically do that. Either ways, you're welcome to the show. We're going to start the show with our usual segment of maybe one or two headlines, because it's in the new year and it's the first few topics that we're dealing with. We would not want to bore you with too much headlines, so we have enough time, to soak in the subject matter of the day, because we have so much to learn and so much to glean from our experts and analysts. Today we'll be speaking on the teacher who forged tomorrow. I'm sure you're all wondering what exactly is this topic about. And on the show, we will be welcoming one or two additional analysts today. I believe in a short while they will be joining us, and we'll also get to hear from them and their perspective. And let me welcome Ayo Bolanle Aino. On the other side, thank you for joining and your consistency. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, said Happy New Year with new swag, coach. All right. I'm sure you're enjoying my avatar. Dr. Motola, I hope you're not getting jealous. Good morning.
Money, I'm actually jealous. I am. I'm like, oh my goodness, like you just took it like 100x up. So I'm like, I have to ask you that where is my own? Oh, so you cannot only just enjoy this avatar alone. So we'll talk about it later. But good morning, everyone. Happy New Year to our tribe members. We're excited to start a new season, and we can't wait to um, celebrate you, to rejoice with you, and to ensure that you reach all your goals this year as well.
Fantastic. And on that note, we're starting. I think we'll just even have one headline at the moment today. So we are able to do all that we're able to do. So let's look at the headline. And that's Ogun State proposes resumption, or sorry, Ogun State postpones resumption date for schools. Ogun State postpones resumption date for schools. Um, in recent times, especially last week, there's been conversation around the resumption, where schools have been talking about, especially in Lagos State. Lagos State schools are expected to resume tomorrow, you know. And I'd like to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts on this?
So yeah, I think it's a good thing. I upon reading what why they are postponing it, they said that it was because of the pre-resumption activities lined up by the ministry to further reposition schools in the state. And so because of that, that's why they're postponing it. But they didn't exactly like explain what exactly is the pre resumption activity is. And so I guess so I'm hoping that hopefully that will give them enough time to prepare the teachers. I wonder, does that include doing like an orientation or training for teachers across the state to prepare them for the new year and the new section, like session that is coming on? What does that entail itself? Also, does that include like maybe featuring the school? Because here on the other side in the United States, we've had the issue of like the Omicron virus, the die variant of COVID-19. So my daughter, she's supposed to start school today, but guess what? They're not going in physically. So from now till the 18th of January, they are going to actually stay at home. But guess what the school did? They already thought about that this might happen. So since December, the last day of school in December, they gave them each a laptop to go home with, so that the excuse will not be because, oh, maybe parents don't have laptops or tabs, so that's why students cannot connect to be part of school. So today at 8 a.m., my daughter, like I prepared her area yesterday where she has a laptop ready, they sent all of the activities for 2 weeks that they will need, that they're not going to be in school. So I wonder if there might be better planning in the future, like across the state or even for private, it's not just public schools, to say, you know what, in case something happened and we have to postpone the resumption date, can we use an online, can we use tech to help us to continue to stay on track in terms of what we need to cover? And so that will be my only like insight, is that it's a good thing, but is it better to do it, like it's good to always do it in advance, not that you're just thinking about it as an afterthought in that regard. But hopefully they're able to get everything done and they will resume back on the 10th as well. Thanks. Sorry to me.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Hello, can you hear me, Dr. Masala?
Yes, yes, yes,
Hello, can you hear
yes,
me?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Like I said, resumption is a critical element when it comes to, you know, when it comes to the school calendar. And of course, we know the issues that involve our resumption.
While we wait for Mr. Rotimi to join back, let us know in the comments what is your New Year resolution if you make one, or what is your theme for this year? What is your theme for the year? What is something, an anchor word that you want to really see happen for 2022? I know for the Good Money Education Show and even for all the activities across these arena, ours is no limit, has no limit. So that means like limitless possibility, limitless opportunities, limitless um, ways to definitely explore and exploit and do greater things in the education system. And so we'd love to hear what your own theme or resolution is for the new year. And I would love to hear you. So put it in the comment and hopefully we will hear from you. Welcome back, Mr. Rating.
Yeah. So I'm back. Yes, thank you for that, Dr. Matula. So let's just get straight to the conversation of the day. The conversation of the day. Um, and like I
It's
said before,
better.
we
The
get
lighting is better this
um
way.
full start. So we have. Can you hear me?
I can't hear anything.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
All right. We have one of our analysts in the studios. And before I introduce her, or better still, I'll allow her introduce herself. But just before then, we're going to be going straight to the conversation of the day. and I'm excited that she's joining us today, because she definitely will bring in her perspective. Let me not do the introduction, but then the conversation of today, um, the conversation of the day is basically on the teacher who forged tomorrow, and we're trying to see how people need to understand uh, that a lot of people don't even have a clue about what tomorrow is. Um, most people, most people find themselves, trapped within the script of what they are living on. You know, so they're just living, like people who have been given a script to play. Just to live out a script. So what we'll try to do today is to see, you know, what not just a teacher out there or an educator out there, but an everyday person. How do you get to be in charge of your life? That's what we're going to be doing in today's episode. So let me welcome. Can you still cannot hear anything? Dr. Motula, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes. Can you hear now? V?
Can you hear can you hear me now?
She's nodding, so I guess yes.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so let's welcome our new analyst. I love the way she pronounced her name, so I don't want to fail in the public. So I want her to introduce herself. Okay,
My name is Coach Vuyanzi. Smile when you say it in the middle, and then you get it right.
yes,
Thank you so much.
yeah. So
Welcome,
just
Coach V. I'll just call you Coach V so that I don't also mess up too.
Awesome.
all right. Yeah, but just let's just get to know you a little bit more. I know you from back end. I know you're a coach. I know you help people in communication and speaking. But could you just do a quick introduction about yourself?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you, I think you told me to introduce myself a bit. I'm hearing you, but your voice is still going out a little bit. But I'll just start really quickly. Hello, everyone. I am Coach Vuyanzi. I'm a transformational public speaking coach as well as a certified executive life and career coach. I help those to find their power and purpose by way of public speaking as well as in life so they can show up with power and purpose as well. In my former life, I was actually a teacher for ages 12 to 14, fun, as well as a college professor as well. So that is me, Buyanzi.
Uh, I love that.
Awesome.
I love that.
Mhm.
Awesome. I'm giving
Welcome,
you a
welcome.
standing ovation at the moment. Okay.
Where is the bell of blessing, Mr. Rotimi? You're
Yes.
failing me in
Yes.
assignment. Where is the
No. No.
bell
The
of blessing?
bell of blessings is until we resume work.
So it is also taking a vacation. Okay. Oh. Well,
Yes.
welcome, Coach
Or
V. We're really happy to have you, and we can't wait for all the insightful and transformational addition you're going to contribute to this. So welcome.
Okay,
okay.
I'm here. Oh, I wish my sound was a little bit. I'm going to be adjusting over here, you guys. I'm going to put myself on mute so I can hear a little bit better.
All right. So I think we can get started. So talking about tomorrow, Omotola, what's your concept of tomorrow? When you hear the word tomorrow, let's even start from that. What's your concept about tomorrow?
So for me, I'll say tomorrow starts today. And so basically knowing that if you're if you're already thinking about tomorrow, then you have a head start than those that are not even. So for me, tomorrow starts today. Your tomorrow is built upon the foundation of what you do today. And yeah.
Fantastic. In fact, I remember I was having a conversation with some few people, and the reality is that there is no day actually called tomorrow. Tomorrow does not exist. All we have is now. All we have is today, and on that note, I'll just quickly allow Coach V to say something about how people have been conditioned to live their lives following a script. And I love the way she said it, that she helps people to find their power. How can you help people who've been living a script find themselves and find their power? Let's hear from you. Over to you.
Okay, I heard most of what you asked. A lot is going on, some context clues here. So, when you talk about finding your power, well, the question I will always ask every day, and it's almost like whenever you hear me speak, I'll say this. The question is, who are you? The question is for you to ask yourself, who am I? Right? Because when you start to think about that, are you identifying yourself by what you do, by the titles you have, or by who you are? And why start there? We start there because then we are then able to, if we know and are rooted and grounded in who we are, we then can begin to show up in our power because you know who you are. And when you begin to know who you are, you can be grounded in the purpose. And by the way, your purpose is ever evolving, right? The purpose doesn't necessarily stay the same. For some people, it does. But however, your purpose sometimes changes. So that's where it starts. Who are you? And then you can begin the process or the journey for showing up in power and in purpose. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It makes super sense. I love that. And, you know, I've always said what you just said, although in different terms, you're the coach V. So we definitely are learning from you. Um, when you said purpose is ever evolving. And I want you to just take 1 or 2 minutes to dwell on that, because a lot of people think purpose is static. Most people have accepted that, when you talk about purpose, it's just one thing and that's just it. Can you just spend a bit more time to open us up to that fact that purpose is truly evolving?
You're not
I
you're
want to say this. Yeah, I know it just said I'm muted. So I just want to say this as I go into it. Rotimi, whatever you did when you were speaking, you started sounding so loud and clear. So make sure you do that again. I think you asked me to mention about the evolving purpose. Is that what you said?
Yes. Yes, that's what I
Okay,
said.
so this is my great example. Well, I'm calling my example great. Darn it, I will call it great. So here it is. So there was a guy that a lot of people know him as back in ancient times, and a lot of people know him as King David. However, you might follow where I'm going here. When we first, from a historical context, if you use the Bible, it doesn't matter what religion you are, but if from a historical read, if you see how King David were first introduced to him, we're introduced to him first as a shepherd who used to wrestle with lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my, right? What did that do? That was his purpose because later on he moves on to slaying a giant. He had experience in there. So that transitioned him to his purpose as a soldier. Are you still with me here?
Yeah.
And then as a soldier, he was so good, he got the attention of King Saul. So now he becomes King Saul's right hand man. He was still living in his purpose. So now he becomes King David, who was still living in his purpose. So now he becomes King David, who was still living in his purpose. So now he becomes King Saul, who was still living in his purpose. So now he becomes King David, who was still
Wait,
living in
can
his
you repeat the
purpose.
last part? We didn't hear that. We still can hear you. Can you hear me? Coach V, can you hear me? Mr. Rotimi, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me as
Okay.
well?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yes, go ahead. Yeah. Good
Okay.
morning, Mr. Olushala. Welcome and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Good morning, Dr. Motola. Nice to see you again. Rotimi, good morning.
Yes.
Happy New Year to you and to our tribe members out there.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And you know, so we're talking about. I'm sure you've seen our topic. We're talking about the teacher who forged tomorrow, and we actually had Coach V, as Omotola was saying. Omotola has a way of shortening things. Coach V was trying to open us up to see that purpose is actually evolving in nature. And truth be told, that's how it should be seen. You know, most people don't realize that and sometimes get to restrict themselves in not getting to find their power and living their full potential, you know. And as we navigate this topic, I'd like to really also get us to, dwell on some other aspects, as it were, you know. Talking about the teacher who forged tomorrow, the concept of tomorrow, like I said, tomorrow as a day does it. Okay, yes, we have Coach V back. Coach V, can you hear us now? Coach V, are you there? Okay, so while we wait to get to here, I think she's muted. Maybe that's why.
Yes, and good morning, Ogochi. Happy New Year.
Good morning, Awatola. Good morning, Mr. Timmy. Happy New Year.
Oh, come over here. Take a hug. Come over here.
You see, he's without a bell of blessing, so that's why he has to use his voice to welcome you.
Oh my god.
Okay, so I'm actually the only one that is in Nigeria here. So Dr. Motola, Coach V, Ugochi, they're all in the US. So it's a united analyst something something.
Wait, your Coach V is in the US. What part of the US is this that is still open and alive at this time of the night? Or is
Or
this
maybe she's
evening or
not in the
afternoon
US
for
at the
him?
moment, but maybe she's in Kenya. But let's hear from her.
Coach V, you still can hear us. She said she can hear us. Sorry.
Okay, so let's continue. I'm sure she will connect. Okay, so we're talking about the teacher who fought tomorrow, and I know a lot of people be thinking about maybe someone who did something evil, but the idea was to use the topic to catch people's attention. You know, when we talk about tomorrow, we're talking about, you know, something futuristic, having a teacher and every average individual understanding that they have the power of choice. Now, when you forge tomorrow, it's almost like saying you're seizing your life and taking control as opposed to leaving a script that has been played out to people. Most times it is said that people actually, you know, live imprisoned lifestyle based on the context that has been written about their identity, their sphere, or their industry. What I'm trying to say is this. So we all know that there is this stereotyping about teachers. An average teacher, most times, you would probably even find people frowning when you see some teachers explore other things. And the first thing they'll tell you, what are you doing? Of course, they see and know what you're doing, but they are not asking, tell me what it is you're doing. They're asking, ah, people like you should not be doing this. That kind of thing. And, the teacher who fought tomorrow is a teacher who actually changed the script. So that's the concept of forging, changing the script of how his outcome or our outcome should be like. And I really want to hear from Ugochi. Ugochi, talk to us, because this power of choice is something that a lot of people need to get to understand. That people understand that they have the power to choose who they are and their destiny. Let's hear from Ugochi.
Ogochi,
Ugochi.
can you hear? Mm. Coach V, can you hear us now?
Oh, I can
Coach
hear
V,
you.
can
It's like a little miracle. It's like can you hear me?
yes, 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 very loud and clear. Yes. Welcome back. Welcome,
It's
welcome,
like
welcome.
a Christmas miracle on January 3rd. It's a Christmas miracle.
Wonderful, wonderful. Great. Ogochi, are you there? Okay, great. So Mr. Rotimi had asked a question, and Eve, you can definitely, Coach B, add some thought about when you think about a teacher and forging tomorrow, and speaking about what does that look like when you, especially like in this new age, and that like with teachers having to not just leave a script that teachers are this, teachers are poor. There's so many scripts about teachers. Teachers are poor, they can never be rich. Teachers, they are low standing in the society. Teachers don't have control, they don't have power to do anything or something like that. And so in thinking about a new year, a new session as schools are resuming, what do you think, or what steps can teachers do to forge a new tomorrow, to rewrite the script and create a different script than what the society or what is generally assumed about teachers?
Okay, so here's the question to the question. What do you want life to be? So if I accept that I'm a former teacher because teachers, they may not get paid what they deserve. However, if I will attach myself to the narrative, then that's what I'm going to have. So number one, what do you want? Do you want to believe that that's you? Do you want to believe that there's that struggle always attached to education? Because if that's what you believe and that's what you attach yourself to, I have surprising news for you. You will get exactly that. What you focus on expands. Let me say that for the people in the back. What you focus on expands. So therefore, if I believe in that narrative, that's exactly what I'll get, and I'll get it every single year. So now, how do you change the script? This is really easy. You don't even need a pen to write this down, but you should write it down. All you need to do is first change your belief. Everything starts where? From your thought. Change the belief, change your actions, change the outcome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Coach B. That is so powerful. And just the way that you put it, I've always added as EXFOA, which is energy flows where attention goes. And that is so true. It's like if you choose to believe that exactly, like you're going to invoke it, whether you like it or not, it's going to happen because that's what you choose to invoke into yourself. And so you're right. The first start, the foundational way is to go to the foundation. Think of a house, right? When you're building a house, you don't start from the roof. You don't start with painting and coloring the house. You have to start and dig down. And so a lot of us, and especially teachers, we need to first go back and dig down and say, what are these? And then even if you are not a construction person or you thinking about, think of it as a computer. Viruses sometimes run behind, right? So even if the computer is working a little bit, but it's slower, but because a lot of us, and even teachers, not just teachers alone, but human beings, and even thinking of the African setting and where we're coming from, we've been programmed with viruses, like things that people say, and it becomes like it solidifies because we choose to entertain it, we choose to give attention to it. And so because of that, we focus our energy instead of thinking about possibility, instead of thinking about what can happen, innovation, solutions, we're thinking of the problem. So we keep seeing the problems. And so I really love the way that you put it, and the simple but very like life changing thing that you can use to change it, refuse them. Like I said, you know what, today I'm going to start applying an antivirus. I'm going to clean out all of these old files, all of these record that keeps scratching over and over again about what is possible for me, what I can do, and rewrite a new script and bring in new system of belief into yourself. And before you know it, things are going to start changing for you for sure. Thank you so much for that contribution. Ogochi, are you back? Welcome back. And
Can you hear me now?
yes, we can hear you now. So yes, go ahead.
Okay, awesome. I already started responding earlier. I was surprised that you weren't hearing me.
Missed out on all the golden nuggets. So please, again.
Okay, so yes, I really like what Coach V spoke about what you focus on expanding, and like that's really important. So I think that people need to understand that your life is not cast in stone. You determine what's going to happen. So if you decide that you where you are, you don't like it and you want to create a change, you can definitely do it. If you also decide that you don't want to do anything about it, you'd also remain there. In fact, you won't even remain there, you would retrogress. Because if you're not going forward, you are going backwards. And so it's really important that people understand that they have the power to do something about their current state. There's no room for thinking like all hope is lost. There is nothing you can do. There is always something you can do, no matter how little. One of the things I always say to people is when you have this grand plan of the things you're trying to achieve, you have to understand that there is a small step you can take to get there. And it looks so expensive and so
Ogechi, are you still there?
this thing that I can replicate now, a move. Yes, I'm still speaking. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead. Thank you. Go
Okay.
ahead,
So
please.
because when you okay, because when you begin to move,
It's breaking up again.
make
Ogechi, okay.
a move in the direction of what you've got to ask yourself, oh, even if this amazing plan, this vision I have for my future is actually achievable,
Okay, while we wait for Ogechi we can hear her again, but she has so many important points that she was contributing as well. I wanted to even just to like, I guess round up this question, give an example that really still gives me goosebumps when I think about it. Because I think it was Thomas Edison, and remember his mom that when the school teacher sent a report home, and when Thomas Edison asked her and said, "What did they say?" Like, "Oh, they said that you're so brilliant that the school does not have the capacity to be able to teach you and train you. And so I am going to personally take on your education because the school, you're way advanced than your teachers." Then come to find out later that actually it was the opposite. The school sent a letter to the mom saying that your child is so behind and so slow, and there is no possibility of him ever being able to comprehend what we are teaching. So, because of that, we are not able to help him. So, like, they're basically like they were speaking it out of the system. But because, back to what Coach B said and what we all have been saying today, the mother refused that script. She refused that belief. And because of that, what happens? Everybody all over the world, like this guy is dead for many, many years, but we still talk about him and the things that he has made happen and the innovations that he battered because his mother chose to not believe the script, chose to say, you know what, these files, these are wrong programming. I am going to believe the best of this child. I am going to encourage and help him see that he is brilliant and he's powerful and he has something to offer to the world. And that was exactly what happened. So even though what we're saying might look simple and like easy, but I promise you, if you can apply it, if you can practice it in your life. Pick whatever situation. I don't care whether it's your finance, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your education, whatever the situation is that you're having this issue and it looks as if you keep repeating the same thing over and over again and getting results that you don't want. Start with belief. Start with belief. Start with like saying like, you know what, I reject this belief. I'm going to choose something different. And before you know it, it will become solidified and those results are going to come in. And so it may look simple, but these are powerful things. And so please apply, implement. I always tell you, the only way you can change your life is when you choose to implement. It's not enough for you to hear it and feel inspired and motivated. If you don't take action, if you don't practice, nothing is going to change. But you have that choice. You have that power to take a chance on your life, to make a choice that is going to change things for you. And we are rooting for you here as well. So I'll hand it over back to Mr. Rotimi and he can continue.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Motola. That was quite brilliant. I think that there's a question that I'm going to play the devil's advocate now. Most of the things we've been talking about seems to address the internal factor, and a lot of people feel that because a lot of motivational speaking came from a situation where their environment were not really limiting factors. So some people feel that some of these motivational speakers were speaking from angle of safety nets. Go for it. There's safety net when you say go for it. Do what you're meant to do. Face those fears. However, when you now begin to look at the context from the concept, the reality in, for example, Africa, or let's say, for example, West Africa, Nigeria to be precise, a lot of people also realize that sometimes the external factors tend to erode on this belief that you've talked about. How do we get people to still get to that point where they surmount, the scriptings and get to be able to forge their tomorrow? And I'm going to ask Coach V that question because, you know, I want her to use the superpowers that she has to kind of open us up to that. Thank you.
Okay, so there's that theme that I keep hearing the Queen say. And I'm sorry, I don't see your name. That's why I called you Queen. But I would call you Queen regardless. But it is that intention. What are your Okay, thank you for doing that. So, what are your intentions? The thing that I keep hearing say is that either life is by design or default. I don't care what we're talking about. I don't care what the subject is. What is your intention and what do you want? And quite frankly, you can take on the narrative of the external factors playing a point in your life. Sure. When they say, "Oh, I'm a product of my what environment," you ever heard someone say that? Or that they're just a product? That's an excuse. It doesn't mean that your environment cannot impact your life, what it is you want your life to be. So I'm sorry if I'm sounding like a broken record here, but this thing that we're talking about, it is not rocket science. It is a decision and a commitment about what you're going to do, regardless of what's going on around you. Of course, we look at internal first, but there's going to be craziness around us. Has anyone ever heard of COVID, coronavirus? Anyone know that there's still a global pandemic? Have you heard anyone say last year, well, when this thing is over, I'm going to? Do you know anyone who said that? Oh, when COVID is over, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. Why? Because you were depending on these external factors. And now what? We're a year and a half into this, going on 2 years. You still wait until COVID is over? I get passionate about this thing. Don't be asking me no questions you don't want me to get passionate about. So that's what I got. Those are my. It's not my 2 cents, but those are my millions of cents that I'm contributing.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for that contribution. And like you're not sounding like a broken record at all. You are not, because I've always believed, and I think this is the issue that people have when it comes to this issue of changing and like transforming themselves. They think that they have to do it once, and once they do it once, then magically it's going to happen. No, you've been in an environment, you've been conditioned for 30 years. Then you now expect that 1 week, 1 day, watching something for 1 hour is not automatically going to override all of those things that have been rooted and that has been planted in you. No, no, no. So it's about space repetition over time. And so that's why you can never be a broken record, because we need that consistently space repetition over time. Because when you think you've gotten it, when you think that, oh, I have done so good, and then something else will come and say, actually, no, there's still more work to do. And even the truth is, we always have to keep growing. Anytime we think that, oh, we're good, we've gotten there, that's when you start declining, right? And think of a farmer. I like farming, I like agriculture. So I always like to use that. A farmer, like, and this story relates to like the bamboo tree in China. They said there's this tree, it's called the bamboo tree. And for 5 years, the farmer will go water it, fertilize it, remove the weed, and nothing was showing. And everybody thought that it was crazy, because every day consistently he kept doing that. But after 5 years, within 5 weeks, it grew 90 feet. Did it start after 5 years? No. It started right from that day one. But the farmer did not give up. He kept doing the space repetition over time. He kept weeding, he kept fertilizing, he kept watering, even though he couldn't see whether something was growing or not beneath the soil. But after 5 years, 90 feet, and that is like reaches over time. And so when it comes to all of us, and as we think about our environment, it has to be, we have to consciously choose every day, every single day, that what am I going to choose? What am I going to accept? What am I going to believe? And consciously choose a new thought, because it's so easy to go back to the old programming. It's so easy to just say, well, they said this about me, so that is the case. They said this about my country. They said this about my society. They said this about my side of the town. So, but you have to consciously, like you said, identity. That's what Coach B started with. Who are you? Who are you? Once you start changing who you are, then before you know it, it's changing. You might not see the progress yet, but I promise you, if you don't give up on it and you continue that spaced repetition over time, your possibilities are going to be endless. So, yeah, thank you. Back to you, Mr. Rotimi.
Thank you very much. I'm still going to come back on things I believe that you're passionate with and about, because I guess that's what's bringing the fire. So we're not going to keep the fire out. We're not kicking the fire out. We want to keep the fire. So I'm still coming back for you, Coach V. All right. So now that we've gotten to a particular point, talking about tomorrow, I think one of the things that we might need to also help people out there understand is how do they, you know, plan for progress? Because now that you have also accepted and embraced the belief factor, right? Um, it's good for us to also create. It's just like having a foundation, and then the next thing you have is the building blocks. How do we get them to plan for progress? Because sometimes a lot of people desire good, a lot of people believe good, but the progress seems to be scarce. So I'm gonna ask Coach V to weigh in on that. What's your thoughts on this? And then we'll come back to Dr. Motola and then Rhoda as well.
Okay, so I'll start off by saying I love this because the thing I say is proper planning prevents poor performance. So therefore, planning is key. So, and I just did an exercise just a little bit before this call, and here's what the exercise was. And I'm going to do a quick version of it. So stay with me. If I ask you in 5 years, where do you want to be? No, excuse me. If I ask you ultimately where you want to be, so you may say, I want to be living on the coast, enjoying the beach every day. That's great. If you want that in 5 years, where do you need to be in your life? All right, then you answer that question. Now I'm going to narrow it down. Now, if you want that in 5 years, what do you need in 2 years? Okay, where do you need to be in 2 years? Are you getting me? And then I'm going backwards to in 12 months, what do you need to happen in order for that ultimate dream to happen, right? And if you want that in 12 months now, listen, watch this. Today, at this moment, what do you need to be focused on? The one thing, there's a book called The One Thing. Today, the one thing you need to be focused on, if those are your dreams in the next 12 months, 3 years, 5 years, and let's say 10 years or beyond. So just breaking it down like that. When you break it down like that, then it becomes easy. Every day, you don't need to be doing 10 things. Every day, focus on what? One thing that's going to get you to that ultimate destination that you want to get to. I hope I'm talking to the people in the back today. I hope somebody's listening.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I love that. That's straight, no cutting corners, straight to the point. I love that. And let me just welcome Rhoda. Rhoda, good morning. How are you?
Hello, good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning,
Hi.
Rhoda. Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Year.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Great to meet Coach V as well. Hello, Coach V.
Okay. It seems like everybody's afraid to pronounce the name. So let me help you. It's Coach Vuyanzi. And then you smile while you're pronouncing it. Okay.
People have to get exactly. Yes, 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 yes. But that's a narrative too, right? Listen, we can believe the narrative of not being able to pronounce my name, or we can just go for it. And if you need to be course corrected, then we'll course correct. So this is in everything, even in the little things. Coach Buyanzi,
Coach Vuyanzi.
That will not give up.
Never.
Okay. So let's hear your thoughts, Rhoda. You've been listening to what we've been talking about, right?
No, no, no. If you could just fill me up. Yeah, fill me. I just, I was doing a number of things. I was in another meeting, so I just jumped on.
Okay. Yeah. So we're talking about the teacher who fought tomorrow, and basically just showing the power in your hands, the power of choice, not leaving a script. The teacher decided to be a bit different from the norm and decided to take his future by the hands. And this is our first episode of the year. And so we're deciding to just have a conversation around that, getting people to understand that they've got the power, and this is what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, I think yeah. Rusim, I think you know my story, right? I'm still. I think I'm in that journey. I saw tomorrow in my own word. I would say it in my own words, if I should say it myself, because one of the things I was doing when I was in the classroom, and whenever I had this like great idea, and I sort of tested it, and I saw that it worked, and then I thought to myself, if it's working, it's going to work for only a certain specific number of children that are in my classroom today, this year. And another set of children were coming another year. And I started to count the numbers. I was like, this is not going to, this is just not the way to go. And so I tried to look beyond my classroom. And I went in my mind, I told myself, you've got to go beyond borders. So beyond borders then helped me to activate what I wanted to see. I wanted to see more teachers use innovation in the classroom. And yeah, in the spirit of a no limits kind of like a year, and in the spirit of breaking barriers and going beyond borders and doing amazing. Yeah, the teacher who sees tomorrow is actually the teacher who understands today. And if you understand today, that means that for example, the simple teacher terms or everyday teacher life. says that I'm going to teach these children a specific set of concepts in a specific way. Well, you could be teaching about stuff that they are irrelevant to them, or you could know that from today's workplace and today's productivity levels, it works or it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, what am I going to do about that? And then begin to change the narrative in the classroom. It doesn't matter if everyone is doing everything else, doing the opposite, the same thing, or the status quo. What matters is you knowing that in 17 to 18 years from now, that you would have changed the narrative for a lot of students. You would have also changed the narrative for a lot of teachers. And you would have probably influenced policies that change the narrative for your country and your state. So you have to think big. I'm not sure if it's in line with the previous conversations you've been saying, you've been having, but yeah, this is like my thoughts.
Yeah, thank you so much. Absolutely. I know your story is almost like a perfect model, to be able to get people to understand. And everybody's been saying almost the same thing. There has to come a point where people must reflect, think, and accept the reality that they've got, right? Whether the reality is palatable or not. I love the way Coach V was saying this. He said that, look, she's not heard anybody. And sometimes you get big lessons from simple things. Nobody has said, okay, I'm waiting for the pandemic to be over before I do ABC. And if I thought people have said that, then they're going to have a long waiting list. They're going to wait a lot. People are moving on in spite of visible challenges and limitations. So I think that people need to begin to tackle their context, because where in this part of the world where most of us are, um, it seems like context overcomes concept, and a lot of people feel helpless and they feel powerless, you know, and that's why sometimes when people hear messages of hope or they get to hear instructions, the first thing is they become resentful and they say that, why are you talking like this? Don't you understand their issues? Why are you talking so positively? Don't you understand that there are problems? you know so I'm sure even if people watch you smile too much, they pick a fight with you because they feel that it's unfair. No, honestly, I remember listening to someone saying that, he normally sings in the morning, and one day someone close to him in his family called him that says, how can you be singing in the morning? Don't you have something to worry about?
Imagine that. Rotimi, you made a strong point about concept and context. I was reflecting and I was saying the last normal school year that kids have had is last 2 years. It was 2 years ago. So yeah, for example, the kids in the 11th grade, their last normal or whatever we consider normal school year, I was when they were in the 8th grade. 2019-20 was disrupted. The kids were confused. They were completely confused. What's happening to me? Folks, those kids who graduated, look, this 2020 cohort that went into the universities and just, I don't know. Those kids are dynamic children. Yes, the kids are in their kids in year 10, their last normal year was in the 7th grade. I'm talking about 3 academic years. We're still feeling the effect of globally of the COVID and the disruptions. So if you're an educator, you're not envisioning these kids that are currently in your classroom and how there's a lot of changes that they've had to take on themselves, how the world has helped them to build their resilience, their grit, they are upskilling them, even for those in really remote areas, begin to learn using WhatsApp. It wasn't something that was part of their culture. But even schools in the mostly remote areas had to have these conversations with parents. Like, how can we support parents? The world rallied around to support parents to get their kids learning in some form of digital space. So if all of these kids have been forcefully digitalized in a way that, that would continue to change their narrative, then you, who is the classroom teacher, are not really seeing that vision and still making them to write 10 pages of notes. Something is definitely wrong with you.
Wow. Um, so much to say, and so little time to have. I just want to say this that obviously we're just starting the year, and I know we're starting with a bang, and we will continue with that. But let me just give everyone the opportunity to give their parting shots. Um, on what we've talked about today, and just speak to someone's heart this morning, to everyone listening to us across the world. And I'd like to start with Dr. Motola, then I'm going to Coach Vuyanzi, and then I'm going to Rhoda. So let's have Dr. Motola, your parting shots, and then move on.
Yeah, my parting shot would be that it's possible. Whatever it is, whatever the dream is, whatever the transformation, whatever it is that you want, whether in your career, in your personal life, it is possible. And it starts with believing. It starts with really, really believing and invoking that belief on every area that you need that transformation or change.
Thank you very much. Let's have Coach V. Over to you.
Thank you so much. And I want to go back to what Dr. Omotola said that either, and I'm just putting it in these words, either we're going to design our tomorrows, it's going to happen by design or by default. So, what do you want and what are you committed to? Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Rhoda?
Yeah, we do say a lot about having a to-do list. One thing I'll say is what helped me, right, really to see visions or to move ahead is having a done list. So a done list tells me about my small wins, and with those wins it helped me trigger and catapult myself to the next stage. So having a done list helps. It tells about your progress, it tells about your success, it affirms you in your space in on earth. And so it moves you to the next stage. Have a done list, celebrate yourself, and then move on so you can see what's possible. You did that, you can do more.
Fantastic. You can do more. And it starts by forging tomorrow. All right. Thank you so much. We've had a great time today, and my head is full, and we're just going to make sure we internalize and put to use all that we've heard. As we bring the show to a close, I'd like to inform Coach V. We have a unique signature when we sign out. And so we're going to ask you to try it out before you join us collectively. You will do it on your own. So we always sign out by saying, it's always a great morning on the Good Morning Education Show. Can you try it?
It's all a good morning on the Good Morning Education Show.
It is always, always, always a great morning.
Oh, it's always, sorry.
Yes.
Okay, it's I'm sorry you're cutting out. Okay, it's always a great morning on the Good Morning Education Show.
Yes. So we're going to do that at the count of two together. Ready? One, two, go. It's
It's
Always a
always
It's
great morning
always a
morning.
great
on the
morning
Good
on
Morning
the Good Morning
Morning
Education
Education
education show.
Show. Have a
Show.
great day, everyone.
Goodbye. Bye.
Show. Thank you. Bye bye.